You probably heard that mortgage rates went down recently due to the last FOMC meeting on December 13th. Realtors in your phone book and email and probably social media have all posted news articles like this or maybe like this. But what if I told you that's not exactly what was said? Hi, my name is Ian Collins. I'm a local realtor here in San Diego. And I just wanted to provide you with some clarity since there was so much misinformation being put out. And then once you're armed with the facts, you can make the best decision for you and your family. First, we're going to go over what Fed Chairman Powell said and some key takeaways from the press conference. And then we'll kind of go over how the press sort of messed it all up. Second, we'll go over why interest rates dropped even though the FOMC decided to maintain the current Fed interest rates of 5.25% to 5.5%. And lastly, we'll go over what could happen at the end of January when the FOMC meets again and what it means for you here in San Diego. But before we do, I want to get this off my chest. Anybody in the real estate industry that doesn't watch the FOMC news conference that happens 8 times a year for 1 hour should just get out of the industry. Man, that's kind of rough. Our job is to provide you with accurate information so you can make the best decision possible. And if we're not doing our due diligence to get the information for ourselves, how can we properly advise you? So if you want accurate information from a realtor who's not trying to push you to buy or sell a home, but merely trying to arm you with the most accurate information so you can make the best decision for you and your family, click the link below and sign up for my free weekly newsletter. You get all the information, none of the sales. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you can help me and my channel. So what happened? Basis for this article from CNBC that spread like wildfire through the real estate industry was due to this interaction between a reporter trying to pin Chairman Powell into admitting that they had plans to drop rates in 2024. The reporter used the Summary of Economic Projections, or SEP, and tried to use those projections to pin Chairman Powell into admitting that they had a plan to drop rates 3 times next year by 0.75%.
If the Fed cuts rates, as the dot plot is showing, about 75 basis points, does that signal or that there's a belief of weakness next year in the economy?
First of all, let me just say, that isn't a plan. That's just accumulating what people wrote down. So that's not something, you know this, but allow me to say it again. We don't debate or discuss what the right, whose SEP is right. We just say what they are and we tabulate them and publish them. So it's, it's important for people to know that.
But as Chairman Powell quickly corrected the reporter, the SEP is not a plan by the FOMC. It's merely just a projection. You can even go back, I'll put the link below in the description so you can see for yourself and see where the committee thought the market was going and what they ended up actually voting for. But what is SEP? The SEP is a dot plot diagram representing all the 12 board members' projections from a bunch of things, from inflation, jobs, and of course, market rates. If you look at the very bottom of the SEP, you can see where the last quarter meeting projected they to be currently and how close they came. Then why did mortgage rates drop if the FOMC decided to keep the 5.25% to 5.5%? First, we have to distinguish 2 things. First, the FOMC makes fiscal policy based off a lot of factors and not just real estate. Shocker. And number 2, that the mortgage industry has their own market. I don't want to get into the minutia of how each bank decides on what rate they offer consumers, but here's just the wave tops. The Federal Reserve issues rates to banks on which they will lend the bank money. So in this case, it's 5.25% to 5.5%. And then from there, the consumer or commercial banks decide what rate they can offer to you as a consumer. They have to factor in profit margins, overhead costs, and competing with other banks for your business. For example, Bank A might offer you a 6% mortgage rate, but Bank B wants to compete for your business, so they might offer you a 5.75% mortgage rate. So the reason why commercial banks dropped their rate, even though the Fed maintained the exact same rate they've done for the last 3 times, is based off what I like to call confidence rates. Remember how we said commercial banks and mortgages have their own market? Based on the fact that the FOMC has not increased rates for the last 3 convening, they are confident in lowering their rates in an effort to spur business from you future homeowners and get you to apply for mortgages, even if it cuts into their revenue a little bit. So what's going to happen in January when the FOMC meets again? First, let's go over the 3 possible options the FOMC has, and then I'll give you my personal opinion of what's the most likely course of action. First, the FOMC could always increase rates. It's not the most popular option, but they could always do it. And this would cause banks to have to increase interest rates on you again. The second option, the Fed could actually decrease their rates. This would be the New Year's gift that we were all hoping for. This would allow the banks to offer even lower mortgage rates for you guys, which they'd probably do immediately. And it would cause the real estate market to shoot up like a bottle rocket. And lastly, what I personally think is the most likely course of action, the Fed will maintain the 5.25% to 5.5% or something extremely similar. This would cause the mortgage rates to consumers to probably stay right about where it's at right now. The reason I believe this is if you watch the entire news conference, conference, which I'm sure 90% of the real estate industry didn't do. Chairman Powell was fixated on the 2% inflation mark and even reiterated it over and over and over again. So if you think about it, we were going into a spending holiday where consumers are buying gifts and traveling, and the mortgage industry already dropped mortgage rates in an effort to spur people to buy more homes. So all of this doesn't really help with the 2% inflation fixation. And that's why I think the Fed will maintain the rate in January to see how we buff out after this holiday season. Do I think rates are ever going to go down? My personal opinion is that yes, I do think rates are going to go down for multiple reasons, but mostly because we're close to that 2% inflation threshold. But I don't think it's going to happen the way that people in the real estate industry think it's going to happen. It's going to be slow and gradual. It's not going to be a huge drop. When do you think this is going to happen? My guess would be probably around March or June timeframe when the FOMC meets again. What does this mean for you? If you're a homeowner that feels trapped by their 3% or below interest rate that you received a few years ago, but you need to either upgrade your home because your family size grew or downsize because the kids moved out, I would suggest that you capitalize on these confidence rates. You're still going to get top dollar for your current home, but when you buy your next home, you're going to avoid all the crazy competitions that's going to ensue after the market rates start trending downwards and millions of people start jumping back in the market. Almost the same advice goes for renters or people looking to buy a home in San Diego in general. So far this year, we've seen almost a 16% appreciation of homes in San Diego, even with these extremely high interest rates. So what do you think is going to happen when the interest rates start trending downward? It's going to blow the hell up. Exactly. So if you can financially afford to buy a home right now, take advantage of these confidence rates and why people are sitting on the sidelines waiting for a certain interest rate to happen. Then once you buy your home, wait till the interest rates go down to where you need and the market goes crazy again, refinance. No competition. If you have any questions, which I'm sure you do since this was a lot, click the link below my newsletter link and sign up for a free 30-minute phone call with me, and I will answer any questions that you have. And if I can't, I'll at least point you in the right direction. Also, go check out these other videos that I did for you guys. And once again, like and subscribe to my channel so it helps me help you. And if you have any videos that you'd like me to do, please leave a comment below. I read every single one of them. Thanks for watching.